Hey Chad, John Mueller here again, doing that review of your laps from Friday, February 9th, in your GT4 RS at Harris Hill. Just taking a look at turn six through here. I think turn six is an area where we can definitely make some improvements. I will say one thing to note, you're carrying great speed through here. There are a lot of things going right here, but I also just want to call up some changes that we need to make things a little bit safer. So on my demo lap, admittedly, I can push harder than I did on my demo lap. But what I found really interesting is the time difference between your turn six and my turn six. You actually gained time on me going into turn five. So all through turn six, most of what you're doing here in terms of, I will say, all of the throttle inputs and your confidence in driving the car through here, it's really good. But I want to point out a big thing with what's happening with your line. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this play. So what's happening is after the apex of that corner, you have a tendency, and I see this in a lot of drivers, to hold that car in. I want to take a look at where this black mark on the track falls in your video. So we see it coming over basically the passenger dashboard over that airbag, and then take a look at where it falls on mine. It's falling at the line of that airbag. So if we take a look here, that seems like a subtle difference, but it's actually pretty significant. And what's cool is the data actually shows us this. So watch what happens as we exit the apex. And also, I'm slightly more rotated and slightly closer to the apex too, which is going to have an impact on how this works for both of us. So just going through here, taking a look, and we'll have to see if there's some. Everything looks pretty good there. But what we're seeing is you're getting slightly further from that apex than I am. So I am getting closer to that apex, which is buying me a little bit more room and allowing me to open up that corner just a little bit more. But the big thing that I want to see or want to show you is as we come through here, right? We see the G's start to load. We're at a very similar speed, but as you're coming across that apex, your G's are up over 1 and mine are at about 0.8. So this is significant, and it's the cause for this is because, or the reason for this is you're holding that steering input in just a little bit longer. And granted, we see an instant peak of mine at 0.1 or at 1.0, but we see yours carrying a fair amount of G's, high G's, all the way through that corner. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Carrying, obviously, if you can carry G's through a corner, that's great. That means that you're getting comfortable with the limits of the car. But what I'm doing is putting less load on the car through that corner, which means I have more capacity for speed here by doing that. So what I'm saying here is as we come through that apex, we need to let that car run a little bit wider, let it open up just a bit more. And if you do that, we're actually going to be able to carry more throttle and go faster down the straightaway. Already you're carrying a heck of a lot of speed. It looks really good. And again, part of the reason that you gain time is take a look there. You're at 103, 104. I didn't match you. That was really, really nice work there in terms of carrying confidence and carrying the throttle through there. However, the big thing I want to show you is, and again, I want to restate this. If you let that car run a little wider on the exit, and it doesn't have to be all the way out, but if you let that car run about 4 or 5 feet wider as you come through that corner and patiently work your way across, you're going to be faster. You're going to be able to carry more speed through there. So that's really the big takeaway from turn six. Open it up, use a bit more track on that exit, and then go to the throttle even harder, and you'll be faster through there. Again, nice work. Just want to call this stuff out.